Hey there, I'm Rhea, and as you saw, we're going to be making a shirt and dress for my babies. Well, really just the shirt version in this video. It's pretty much the same pattern. So speaking of patterns, this is the one that I used. It's the Simplicity 9454. It's super cute. The pattern itself was really easy to follow. I would say that the sizes run a bit big, however, that's not really an issue because as we know, kids grow fast. So at least it extends the time that they're able to wear those garments before we have to donate them. I did view A for Gabby with a couple of modifications. For this one, I shortened the sleeves a bit and added an extra tier to the bottom per Gabby's request. And view B for Isa. This one I didn't really make any changes to, I just added a little trim. So let's get started. Alright, here's all of our lovely pattern pieces. This is the peplum or skirt portion of the shirt. This is the neckband, the sleeves, the two back bodice pieces, and the front bodice. And so I'm going to go ahead and serge around the edges of all of these. Initially, I wanted to just skip the neckline area on the front and back because we have a neckband, so it's not super necessary. However, I kind of got carried away with having fun playing with this serger, so I ended up like serging the back neckline, but I mean, it's not a big deal. So I'm also going to go ahead and cut off the excess little tags or tails that are left over, just to make everything nice and neat. You know, it's better to make things nice and neat as you go instead of having to do a bunch of trimming and cutting at the end or have weird pieces of thread sticking out in your seams. But anyway, according to the pattern, the next step is to do a stay stitch around the entire neckline area. So as I mentioned before, I accidentally serged the two back bodice pieces around the neckline. So in that instance, I don't think it's 100% necessary. However, I'm going to do it anyway. And obviously I'm going to put a stay stitch along the neckline in the front. Alright, so and I went ahead and sewed the two back bodices together up the middle, and this will be where we put our button closure in the back. So next I'm just going to quickly press this, and then we're going to go along the opening here, stitch that down. And there we go, all finished. And so now we're going to move on to sewing the two shoulder seams. So I'm just going to line them up and then go ahead and pin them together and then stitch them together. And I must say, I really love this cotton gauze. It's such an awesome fabric and it works really well, like super low fuss. Alrighty, and so now what we're going to do is do some little gathering stitches here over the shoulder area, just to create like a little gathered effect at the neckline and over the shoulders. So I've already did the two gathering stitches really quick, and here I'm just gathering them. And then now that we've got those secured, I'm going to go ahead and put the neckband on. And with the neckband on, that's what will really hold everything in place. So I'm just going to go ahead and pin it. But yeah, this is like one of my favorite fabrics. And oddly enough, this kind of fabric is the fabric that Isa as a baby really was drawn to. She was never into like the micro plush and all of that like Gabby was. She definitely preferred this one. So all of her baby blankets were made of this bubble cotton gauze. So it's really cool to make her shirt like this because I know she loves the fabric. Alright, so now I'm going to go ahead and sew in the interior part of the neckband and then fold it inward, and then we'll sew that down sew down the other side. At this point is where I went ahead and added the little loop for the button as well. And so while doing this, I stayed very close to the edge and sewed on the outside or the right side of the garment, just because, you know, that's more important, because that would be the stitch that you see. So I sewed along the outside, very close to the edge. Here I'm just going over the button loop area just to make sure that I get it caught like in the stitching. Which here it's all finished, and now we're going to move on to the sleeves. The pattern has these cute little pleats included in the design, so I just pinned those in place, and then I went ahead and did a quick little basting stitch to hold them in place. And now we're going to go ahead and attach the sleeves. And now all we need to do at this point is sew up the side seams. Okay, here's the side seams all sewn up, and now it's time to go ahead and add the trim. So I'm going to add the trim to the sleeves, the end of the sleeves, and then also around the peplum of the shirt. So when I'm attaching the trim, I pretty much just folded the edges of the fabric in maybe like 2/8 of an inch, and attached the trim on that way on the inside. So you can see here what it looks like and what it'll look like on the outside. And I'm just going to go ahead and pin it all the way around and sew it on. And there is the trim all attached on the sleeves. And now we're going to move on to the peplum. And it's just 2 pieces. So I went ahead and did the gathering stitches and added the trim along the bottom. And now it's time to attach it to the bodice. And as I'm attaching it to the bodice, I'm just making some little adjustments just to make sure that the gathers are fairly even and consistent all the way around. This was such a quick and easy project, and I absolutely love the way it came out. And so does Gabby and Isa, actually. They can both fit it. And just like that, we are just about done. The last thing that we need to do is sew on the button. So we're just going to go ahead and switch over to a button foot really quick, and make sure to put your feed dogs down.
Now it is time for the reveal.